taste of Omaha. I could listen to the engines moaning out his one old song. I could think about the woman or the girl you knew the night before. But your thoughts will soon be wandering the way they always do. When you're riding 16 hours, there's nothing much to do, and you don't feel much like riding. You just wish the trip was through. Here I am on the road again.
About to be live in like 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2.
Sweet. Throw something out there. Dustin, you were coming up a lot, so
That's good.
I thought was a funny thing. She said she's going to come in. I can't remember her name. I'm looking at the room right now, see if she chimes in. But she called you, Dustin, don't touch the hair, Pari.
Still up there. It's going grayer, but it's still there, man. It's all right.
I will say, Dustin, you can go back and look at photos from how long ago Ghost Hunters and International, all that. You have not changed. You got like the Dick Clark water you're drinking because you don't.
Somebody wrote in after Ghost Nation this week, and they wrote, "So good to see you. You look exactly the same." It's like, yeah, kind of weird, right?
What's wrong with that?
Like you don't age. Maybe the hair gets a little higher, a little lower, depending on your haircut. But you don't age, man. So you're lucky. You're saying gray. Look at
that. Looks good on you, though, man. It's all right.
I keep telling him he needs to grow the hair out on top.
Oh no!
You got to do the skullet, man.
I would have the reverse Cody. It would be.
All right. So how's it feel, guys, to be hanging back out on television with Jason and Steve and Tango and all that stuff? Because I know Dustin, man, you did that for many, many years. I used to watch you guys. I mean, you guys were the first that I ever watched, man. I mean, there was a very memorable episode where you guys went to Ireland, and you got pretty rattled. I think we talked about this in New Jersey for a little bit, but that's one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah, Love Castle, man. Yeah, for sure. I was very blessed to have been able to work with those guys for so many years and travel around and do all those things and everything. And Cody and I work, locally doing cases in New England for a while now. So this was nice for us to finally be able to work together on a televised case with the guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's always good to share with the world. Give them a little bit of what we, do almost every weekend kind of thing.
Yeah, it was so damn cold up there, though.
Really?
Like, what was it, end of January or something we were there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you look carefully, you can probably see hand warmers under all the recorders that we're holding and stuff.
Yeah, it was just, there was no place in all the buildings, there was no place to get warm unless you went back to like where they had the bathrooms and where we could eat, but we weren't investigating there, so.
That sounds like a Ghost of Salem season 1 for us.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know why they wanted to film in like February. It's like there's snow hitting us in the face, and they're telling us to just act like it's not happening. It's just like, okay. It's like I'm soaking wet, and things are, I'm soaking wet, and I'm freezing cold. So we would like shiver. You can ask Mike. I mean, in the cold, you'll shiver, and then as soon as they're like, all right, we're going. Everybody just kind of.
Yeah, man. It was GHI was like that because it was cheap to send us to all the other countries because it was like pretty much winter, so nobody's vacationing there, with the exception of like Malaysia where it was super hot. Everywhere else we went was always like freezing cold because it was cheap. So you can send like a crew of like 12 to 20 people, with production on the road because it didn't cost anything, but it was like chasing winter for like 2 years of filming.
Oh.
Wow. Well, I don't know if anybody, I'm sure some people know it, for Haunted Town season 1, one of our producers was Brandy Green, and both of you were on International together, and between you and her, the stories we heard, you guys had it rough.
It was all
rough compared to anything that we might say was maybe slightly rough. I mean, hardcore. I mean, Dustin, I remember you telling me, like, you wash your laundry in a sink or in a tub, and you're hanging it to dry out the window. It's like,
over the pig slaughter farm in Austria. I mean, you always had like the first thing you did when you got to town was you got to your hotel. You tried to see if you had internet, which sometimes you did, most times you didn't. So you're trying to find an internet like cafe, which I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. And then like you find a place to try to do laundry, and usually everything was closed because it was winter. So you end up washing your laundry in the sink all the time, and then just drying it out the window or hanging it around like. I shorted out like a bunch of heaters in my hotel because I put all my socks on at one time and all the air got stuck. But like that's what it was, man. I was blessed to do it. Like I got to go to 27 countries. I got to investigate everywhere. But they were cheap, man. Like we were like rationing water. I remember one time like you can have one bottle of water per investigation. I'm like, for what do you mean? Like that's insane. But yeah, it was not easy by far. I was thankful to do it, but yeah, I think we definitely got the short end of the stick when it came to treatment.
Well, Dustin, I mean, I've always envied like you guys for getting to go international. Like, I mean, I haven't been international yet, but that's my dream to go to Ireland or Europe. And I've always said to people, I'd go anywhere and everywhere, but you know. Probably I would be really uncomfortable with going to like a third world country. I mean, that's the kind of, I'm thinking about that more now.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah, man. It's I mean, some of the places they'd send you through. I mean, even in Brazil, which you would think is very nice, but where we filmed, we're in the favelas, like in the ghetto area, and we had to pay for protection, which was a joke because the guy we were paying was in the gang. There, so like we got like what looks like a 14-year-old kid with a gun that's bigger than he is, but he doesn't need it because it's just his buddies that were paying off not to rob us all night. So it was like the strangest thing, man. But yeah, there was a lot of that. There was a lot of that strange stuff in some of those countries for sure.
Yeah, and then we would be on Ghost Asylum or Haunted Towns bitching like we're in the rain. It's like barely misting, and we got to do a scene and be like, "What? No umbrella?" What, I don't have a mini fridge in my room? What is this?
For the laundromat?
No laundry? But no, man.
I gotta wash it myself.
Yeah. We all had our diva moments.
Some of the hotels too. I remember like a lot of times you'd be like, "Oh, you get to stay on location," which sounds great. Like you want to stay. I'm going to stay in the castle. It's like, yeah, hell yeah, I want to stay in the castle. It's great, And then like I have a shared bathroom with like a 3/4 wall between me and Barry, and like I'm in there showering, and he comes in to use the bathroom, and he's like singing. I'm like, this is so weird right now. I just want like a Motel 6 or anything that would be normal,
Oh man,
it's really strange.
So I mean, I guess when you go international, you just have to be prepared to give up your creature comforts. Just throw them out the window.
Yeah, I lived on Pop-Tarts and peanut butter like most places I went. I would bring them from home. I just bring boxes of Pop-Tarts because I was like, I don't know what I'm going to eat, And like I'm very picky. Italy I did well, but then like, Malaysia, the Philippines, a lot of like seafood I don't eat. So it was peanut butter and Pop-Tarts. When I was in Romania, I met a guy who never had peanut butter before. And he sees me eating it, and he comes over and he's asking about it. And I traded my peanut butter for a thing of homemade Romanian moonshine.
Good trade.
It seemed like a good trade, but after like a sip, I thought I was going to go blind. So I the production guys, they had a ball with it. But yes, I don't know if they don't have peanut butter in all of Romania, or if I just met a guy who never seen it, but it was a good time.
That sounds like torture to me, man. No peanut butter?
Yeah, like I used to board every flight out of Boston. They'd get me up to Boston, and I'd have these pajama pants that had snowmen on them. I'd put those on to get comfortable because it was always an 8-hour flight to wherever we changed planes. And I would bring a thing of cookie dough, and I would eat the whole thing of cookie dough on the plane. So I had snacks and stuff. I had a routine, man. I had that thing down.
Wow.
Favorite?
Hey, real quick, Brennan, I just wanted to say real quick, I know that last week we were talking, oh gosh, I got to find him. Where'd he go? Andrew, we gave a shout out to Andrew. Andrew wasn't on. We were talking to his mom. Something happened the last week's episode. It didn't save. So she wasn't able to show Andrew the shout out. But Andrew is in the chat right now. And I know she was saying he has Asperger's and he's a techie like you. And so if you could give him a shout out real quick, he would be really excited.
I appreciate your support, man. like I tell people, Asperger's, it has its pros and cons. I'll definitely keep you in my prayers, and it's just stay strong and stay motivated. Actually, Dustin, you could probably give him a good motivation. Or something.
I'll tell you, we've all got our things that make us a little bit different, and then there's nothing wrong with that. It's we all don't want to be singing from the same hymnal all the time. It's nice that we all kind of have our own little idiosyncrasies and different things, and things that make us, I think, stronger, things that maybe we struggle with that over time we get better with and make us stronger individuals, So I think there's something to be said for all that. And yeah, man, for sure. So a shout out to him and to everybody out there going through anything, right? Life isn't easy. It's kind of a kick in the pants most of the time, but
especially now, right?
Yeah, especially now. It's been strange, And I was having a conversation with somebody about this today. It's like, depending where you are, like in the world and where you are in the country, it's like we're all kind of in a storm, in one way or another. And regardless of like belief systems and things, or whether you think this is a hoax or this is real or this is fake or whatever, I mean, there's definitely a body count. There's definitely people dying. There's definitely people out of work. There's people that are frustrated. We're all kind of like in a storm, but we're not all in the same boat, And there's some people that get a little bit better off than others, and we need to make sure that we take this time to look out for each other, And I think, to me, the lesson I learned the most from this is I often feel when I do my motivational work, I know a lot of people think it's silly. And I know a lot of people think that the stuff I believe in, kindness and love, is kind of bullshit. They think I'm like just some old hippie in a young, still good-looking body. But they think I'm just like some old hippie, and like, what are you still like trying to preach kindness and love? But I look at it this way. This virus went all the way from China, one way or another, and it was able to spread all over the world and to affect so many people negatively. Why can't we do this in a positive way? We're obviously that interwoven as a species that something that you have to be within 6 feet to communicate this to each other. Why can't we do that with love and kindness and make a positive change for the world? So I think there's a lesson to be learned from all this, that when we get out on the other side of it, let's stop picking on each other for the things that we're different about and start lifting each other up and helping each other out, because it's possible, man.
One thing I like to say about the coronavirus, and it kind of brings me to mind, like, I just want to tell everyone out there, if I ever say anything that, because sometimes I might say stuff that will be taken in the wrong way, but I definitely don't mean it that way. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, coronavirus, yeah, I hate that people died from it and that people got sick, but there's actually been some positive stuff that come from this. Because, guys, I'm a Christian. I believe God has a purpose for everything, And what I've noticed about this is that a lot of churches that I go to are doing like live remote distance sermons, So people are sharing their beliefs now on the web. So, I mean, to me, that's a positive.
Yeah, for sure, man. Actually, somebody from my church vestry called me today, just asked how I was doing. I asked how the family was doing, just wanted to reach out, And Palm Sunday, I drove by the shrine. They just had, palm laying out there on like a big 8-foot table. Just drive up and get some, So you still had that semblance of tradition and symbolism while still being able to be safe, So I think, I don't think there's anything wrong in what you're saying at all, man. Like, yeah, it's horrible that so many people are struggling and so much death has happened. But we have to try to find the positive that comes with it. And in that, unfortunately, there's loss. But I think there's still light at the end of the tunnel for a lot of us. And so we got to never forget those that we lost. But we got to live positive lives in their memory, too.
I mean, I know a lot of people saying, I'm sorry. I was just saying a lot of people say we'll never get back to what we thought was normal. This is going to be the new normal. And for many, many reasons, there's probably nothing wrong with that. I think every generation had a new normal, whether it's because of war, whether it's because of anything. It's like things change. So it's like, so far we know to be a little bit more cautious, a little cleaner, just a little bit more safe, and it's like, little things. I mean, I'm talking small things, minute compared to what people are thinking. Like we were just talking the other day, going to the gym. How often do you put something down and just go, I just touched everything on my face? It's like now you're going to be a little bit more cautious. And it's like, even when this thing is gone and it's going to go away, hopefully, you know, it's like we're all going to be just a little bit more cautious, a little bit safer, a little bit cleaner, a little bit more respectful, you know, a little bit more just not taking things for granted like we did before, you know.
Hopefully that guy at the gym that, like, you know, gets up from the bench and there's that sweat stain, hopefully that guy will go back and wipe it down once in a while. That'd be nice.
Not the guy that yells really loud, though, for attention. No, he's going to leave it.
I can stay strong. Absolutely. That's how it works.
Dustin,
my gym got all new equipment the day before they closed.
Oh, really?
There, I was excited. I was using the stuff. I'm like, this is going to be great. And then they closed the next day. I'm like,
oh, man.
So do tell about the equipment.
We got somebody watching. This is for Dustin. It says it's from Gina Shelton. Me and my fiance are just starting out ghost hunting. Do you have any pointers on what we should do? Or actually, no, that's for both of you. Like,
I mean, I know when Cody and I work together, I think we're very much of the same mindset of just being respectful, you know, overall. Don't mimic things you've just seen done on TV. Learn your own things, practice, read a lot, you know, learn from reading a lot of the classic books and things that are out there. And don't be afraid to try new things just because other people haven't done them or people don't, think you're foolish. Like, try different things. It's a complete unproven field. So you can go out and try things, but just make sure you're respectful. I think that's the most important thing to me, at least.
Yeah, and always trust your gut, too, because your gut will never steer you wrong. And your senses are a very powerful thing that can be used well on an investigation, for sure, that a lot of people don't pay that much attention to, unfortunately. So.
Yeah, and have fun while you do it. I think that's why I love working with Cody the most, is like, you know, when I get to work on GH over the years, like I made some good friends and stuff there, and I always had fun working with the guys. And over GHI, I had a lot of fun with Barry and came back and worked with KJ. But locally, I just work with Cody, like, because it's never a pain. It's never like, oh, I gotta do this all night. Like, we have fun, we joke around, we sing songs, like, you know, like it's I mean, you guys all know, it's 99% like walking around in the dark, sitting on your butt, waiting for something to happen.
Yep.
And if you can't enjoy the company of the people that you're with, then don't do it.
Basically, what you guys just said is pretty much our Q&A every time we do an event. That's our answer for everything. Is like, you know, number one, make sure and have fun, you know, or number one is respect, what you said, Dustin. And number two is, you know, be open. Number three is, you know, just get out there and do your own thing. Don't, you know, do just because you see somebody else doing something, don't do it yourself. You know, go out there and try new things. And it's such an unproven field, like you said, man. I mean, we're all out here just trying to discover. You know, and I mean, like you said, you got to have a good time doing it. You can't take yourself too seriously. Obviously, if you got like somebody who's in need and, you know, they're afraid, you want to help them. But whenever you're out here doing it yourself, I mean, we always have a good time. Sometimes a little bit too much fun, I think. But the producers are always like, well, all right, guys, let's calm down a little. Let's get back to serious here.
Something I was going to say, too, when we've noticed that when we start loosening up, telling jokes, you know, just kind of conversating, laughing, it seems like the spirits want to communicate. And the activity picks up because they kind of want to join in on the conversation. So
yeah, Brandon, I think you and I talked about that maybe in, I think, Oklahoma last year. We did a convention down there and we were talking about that. Like, it seems like nobody wants to be interrogated, you know, like, do you know you're dead? Tell us your name, all that BS. But, like, you create, like, a fun environment where you're joking around and just invite them to be part of the conversation. I think that goes so much further than just sitting there, you know, rifling off the same questions in the dark all the time.
Which I'll even admit my downfall is I don't consider myself as witty as Chris and Mike. So I'm kind of more black and white. You know, I got all these cameras and I'm kind of wanting answers about how the paranormal works. And sometimes I think I chase the ghost off because I bore them. And they're like, I don't want to mess with this guy. He's nuts.
You're just witty with the ladies, bro. I've seen you.
You need to hear him sing.
Places beat. We gotta go. Well, a couple people wrote in, Cody. I know a lot of people here they're just now starting to see actually. I can't remember, some places in India and some other countries, I can't remember. They're just now starting to see Ghost Asylum for us, and also season 1 of Haunted Towns. Yeah. So I know they have not seen Ghost Nation yet. So a few people are asking your backstory. Can you talk about TAPS, when you joined, when you started getting into it, and just your gig?
Sure. So like most people that are in the field, I had an experience when I was younger. And that got the ball rolling. I ended up joining my first group when I was 16, which was really hard to find a group that would take a 16-year-old out investigating. But I emailed all the ones local to me, and one of them, brought me on. I really was interested in the tech side of things, so I really just wanted to get a hands-on experience with the equipment and just to see how it works. I said, you don't have to take me out on any investigations. Just show me how things work. I'm a hands-on person, so I want to see how everything, works in the field. So I joined that group. I unfortunately ended up getting sick. I was diagnosed with cancer in 2011. I had a successful bone marrow transplant in 2013, and that brought me to a whole different level of closeness to the paranormal. I mean, given a death sentence, really, that's as close as you can get. So that kind of changed the way I was looking at things. From that experience, I concluded that, there's definitely something out there after this world. And I've more turned into not only helping our clients. I'm an investigator with TAPS, the Atlantic Paranormal Society, as well as another group based in Rhode Island called Rise Up. And, we of course, our clients come first. But personally, I want to, figure out what's actually going on, how things are communicating. Like I said, I'm a tech guy, so I want to see how the EVP is ending up on the recorder. I want to see, what happens if a spirit is in a room, what changes happen in the environment, what environmental change is happening. So that's kind of my mindset on an investigation. More recently, I've been asked to, do a few episodes with Ghost Nation. Which has been great. I did an episode in season 1, and just this past Wednesday, I was on one in New York along with Dustin, and it's definitely been interesting on that side of things. Switching from client investigations, because that's all I've been doing for the past 9 years is client investigations and investigations with Dustin. To the television side of things is quite different, but it's still interesting for sure.
That was going to be my next question.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of weight.
A lot of waiting around.
That was going to be my next question is, which one do you like better? You don't have to answer that.
The television paycheck is nicer.
Yes.
But no, getting your hands dirty, just getting in there without someone telling you, "Oh, wait for this. Let's cycle this team in and out." Like that, and you get it. Like my background's in production, like my degree's in production.
Oh, really?
I worked for CBS and Fox for years, so I understand the production portion of it. But as an investigator, it's like, I think something's happening in this room. I want to go investigate it. Now wait for you to go get a new brick for your camera and get the lights and all that other crap. But I get that you need it,
Going back to something Cody said earlier is, using your senses. That's another thing that we always try to tell people to do is that, they're always like, what's your favorite piece of equipment? And we're always like, your body, what you can see and hear and sometimes smell or feel sometimes. If I ever get the opportunity to investigate when it's not at like an event or the show or something like that and it's just me, I don't even bring anything in the room. I just like to go in there by myself and feel it out. Not even say anything or do anything, and then just kind of see what happens first. And sometimes they'll come to you, and it's really pretty cool when that happens.
Yeah, I've even wondered sometimes. It's like, of course I'm the guy that has all the equipment and all the cameras, so it's like, and I've always wondered, it's like, one reason why I'm not catching so much video is because maybe a lot of the spirits don't want to be seen or want to be caught on camera. And I've wondered about that, and it's like, well, maybe you could more likely have an experience without the equipment because for some reason they don't like it or it's unfamiliar to them.
So Brandon, there's when I was traveling, I'd spend a lot of time reading and stuff. passing the time in the hotel rooms and the flights. And I came across some literature from a paranormal group in South America, and they were studying physical mediumship, and they talked about the IR lights that we so commonly use being off-putting to actually they use the term harmful to the spirits, and I couldn't figure out how like our IR light would be harmful to them. But then I remember I was on a case, and you're using the camera, I'm using the camera, and when you cross and you see that IR light, it's like staring into a headlight,
Yeah.
Well, what if the IR, maybe it's not harmful to them, but maybe they're perceiving it like we see it through a camera. All of a sudden, somebody's shining like this super bright light. And you guys have all done the conventions. You've got like the, 3 or 4, you got a guy with the fishing vest on, right? And he's got the camera here and here, and all the lights are going. If that's coming at you, you're getting the hell away from that because you can't see what's going on, So Barry and I started taping off a lot of the IR lights. And Cody and I have talked about doing this. And when we do our own investigations, very minimal IR at all. I think the best thing to do is use like low-level red and orange lights, just like a natural lantern. You put a gel around it, put it down, and then take an IR light, put it at the base of a wall at the end of a hallway and shine it straight up. So this way you've got a background, so if something crosses between the camera and that lit up wall, you'll see it, but you're not shining that light right on it. And started noticing when we start taking the light source away, the spirits seem to come closer. So using like the UV lights, using less IR, and moving the IR seem to do a hell of a lot better in getting the spirits to want to come closer and be a little bit more part of the interaction.
Yeah, I might try that.
Added stuff into Brandon's arsenal now, just so you know. Brandon's going to be at the next investigation with lanterns.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Now.
Now this kid, we had to get him a vest because whenever he first started, he went on his first ghost hunt when he was 21. We took him to the spot where I had my first experience in our grandfather's barn. And I knew then that he needed a vest because he had all this stuff in his hands, and then he kept accumulating so many things, and he would just, his jean pockets would just be stuffed with things in his back pockets, and he'd have it in his shirt. And finally I found a vest online, and it just kind of became his thing. And then here's the thing. He doesn't even use the vest for equipment. He's got like candy bars and like 5-hour energies. He puts everything on this pole.
Yeah. It was the last season's of Haunted Towns. It was the 3 of us were together. It was at Fort, wherever it was at.
Washington, maybe?
You know what I'm talking about? I think it was in Washington, that fort. So Brandon's vest, everybody knows it's like almost looks like a SWAT vest, and even has pocket things on the back. And there was a couple extra things that our hands were full, and we're like, hey, the 3 of us are together. We're like, Brandon, we're going to put this behind you, and we put him in the pockets on the back of his vest. And we're like, if we need him, we'll just get him in the back. We needed it, but Brandon was gone. You got that? No. Do you have that, Kate? Do you have? No, I don't have a. And it's like, Brandon's gone. Where's Brandon? And I was like, our shit's in the back of it.
And Brandon doesn't ever use it. He always turns his walkie off, and he always wanders off. So the producers, everybody's on the radio looking for Brandon because he's got all of our equipment in his pockets.
Now I can attest when we did Ghost Asylum, I was all production on Ghost Asylum, and Missouri State was one. We left them. Everybody thought the other guy had him because everything when we wrapped filming, Brandon always stayed and investigated on his own. So by the time production wraps up, we're driving back to the hotel. God knows what time it is, and you have Brandon? No, you have Brandon. And everybody's texting and radioing, and it's like turn around, and then you're trying to find him in like 4 buildings of. And that happened there, and in Cocoa Palms in Hawaii.
Well, that's another good one.
Now that was one. Let me ask you both of you guys, because all right, Cody, are you a Elvis fan on your own or because of Dustin?
Oh yeah, my whole life. Cocoa Palms. As soon as you said that, I was
okay. I was going to lead into that. If you follow either one of these guys on Instagram or whatever, what do you call it? Car karaoke?
Carpool karaoke.
Carpool karaoke. It's always an Elvis tune, so I didn't know if you're an Elvis fan because of Dustin, he created that, or if you were on your own.
Yeah, we found so many similarities between the two of us.
We found out our fathers actually went to a concert in the 70s in Providence, Rhode Island, an Elvis concert, and like sat like just rows from each other, like and didn't know each other.
Wow.
So these crazy it's amazing, man.
Let's get a little side note. If you had to pick one favorite Elvis song.
Oh, I don't know, man. It kind of changes depending on what's going on, I think.
I mean, do you like cool
I guess
Elvis,
if I could
leather,
dream.
slick hair, or do you like fat, bloated Elvis?
What's that?
Oh, the later
You know, like
Elvis,
cool
earlier.
Elvis with the dome, or like the Vegas kind
Vegas,
of
yeah.
looking.
Oh, I see. I like the classic like 60s Elvis.
Yeah,
for me.
I'm a 60s, 70s.
Yeah, I like the earlier Elvis.
I like just him starting to get into jumpsuit era.
Right.
Yeah.
Just starting to get.
Yeah. But I think If I Could Dream is probably the best.
If I Can
song.
Dream is great. How Great Thou Art, when he did his rendition of that was great.
Yeah. So nice. Cody was an Elvis impersonator and like sang with a full like live band, like a backing band and everything.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh, yeah, he's got the jumpsuits.
So is he coming to Michigan this year and singing karaoke with us, Dustin?
I would love to have him come to Michigan at this point.
Okay, everybody, you chime in right now. If you want, who's ever coming to Michigan Paracon, if you want Cody to come,
That's right.
We're all going to do Elvis. All of us.
We'll call Brad and Tim up and tell them, listen, Cody has to come.
Yeah.
Just the way of it.
You know, I'm going to make you guys jealous for a second. We went to Elvis's, well, I don't know about Dustin. Have you been over there to the Cocoa Palms? Have you guys investigated it?
No.
I'm going to make
I
you
never
jealous
get invited
too.
to any of the cruises to Hawaii. I never get to go to Hawaii.
Well, I went to Elvis's bungalow and I stole a tile from his bathroom.
Yeah, it's like when they gave, I think it was Porter, doing the walkthrough like the first or second day we're there, and Porter came back and it was like a piece of one because he had the gold tiles in his bungalow, and he's like, I got it, and we're like, oh, that's cool, and then all of a sudden we're like, I want one too, you know. And it was that day before even filming because of course production, you're there way earlier. And these all look the same. I was like running through some water, and I'm like, which one's Elvis's? And then I remember finding someone. I was like, which one was Elvis's? And they're like, it's that. And I was like, and I'm in there like flipping. It's all broken down. I'm like flipping old walls down, and it's like I finally found a little one. I'm like,
There you
Wow.
go. Yeah,
carry
that's
on right now.
I gave mine to my aunt, though. She's a huge Elvis fan, so I gave it to her.
nice.
Oh, that's good.
Well, it's really sad about Cocoa Palms. I mean, it used to be like, I think back in the 50s, I mean, like really luxurious hotel, and it just went down. It's bad shape. So I don't know if it's still standing today or not. So
I know it's in a lot of disrepair, what was left of it.
Yeah, nobody.
Yeah.
Lots of spiders and frogs.
Yeah.
Well, what were there 4 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever it was, and they were talking about then. I mean, I don't know if it was going to still be another Cocoa Palms, but talking about rebuilding it somehow. But when you look at pictures of it from what it was back in the day, it was like that was the place to be. You know, Sinatra, everybody just, you know, I know Elvis had his bungalow, but everybody visited. It was, you know, pimps of the day for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, if you follow these guys on social media, if you had to pick your favorite pie.
Oh, it's pumpkin for me all day, man. Love pumpkin pie.
Yeah, either apple or pumpkin.
Yeah.
I'm probably apple. I'm more towards apple.
We're both in the fall.
Yeah,
Fall
era. Yeah,
Fall pie.
Yeah.
But yeah, because we travel a lot doing lectures and things, and so there's a lot of late night diners, and pie is usually a good way to top off the end of the night, you know. So that was good. I made one last week. Last weekend I made a pie, but I realized it was like quarantine style. It's like I'm just gonna cut this in fours, and like my wife had a piece, my daughter had a piece, and I had half of a pie. What is the cat doing? It's getting the bananas. Get down from there. I've got 3 cats. We have a 4th one on the way. We get one of those furless, skinny ones. They're the Sphinx cat.
Yeah.
Hey, Tanya just joined in. Tanya from Oklahoma. What's up, baby?
Hey, what's up, Tanya?
We need to do this again after all the crap is over, but thank you for joining in. Chris from New York. What's up, brother? He says pumpkin as well.
Yeah.
We had a question earlier in the chat that asked Brandon if your vest is full of chocolate bars.
That cat thing. Give me a minute.
I did have 5-hour energies in it. Like when we first investigated, I remember at South Pittsburgh, I had like 2 or 3 5-hour energies because the first time we investigated there was like 48 hours straight, no sleep. So I had to drink quite a bit of those. But they actually had me to do a commercial, like a little kind of promo, and it's like what's in Brandon's vest for the show. And they recorded me taking beef jerky and like tea and everything out of there. But yeah. Oh yeah, I try to pack it as much as I can. So
Now, I don't know if this is somebody you know, Dustin, Cody, or if this is MJ Bruce wants to know for both of you, did you ever have a moment you were glad you had on liquid absorbing underpants?
Okay.
Is that are we? I don't know what that means. Do you know what that means?
I've never had a paranormal. I've never had a paranormal investigation that brought me quite to that level.
Oh, is that what he's talking about? Probably on that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I've ever been that frightened of anything that's caused any type of GI issue.
I've had eye-opening experiences for sure.
Yeah. Eye-opening, but not GI.
No. Yeah.
Sure.
You know,
Well, I know.
going
Need
back
to get
to-
something. I think twice. I know me and you, Dustin, twice. One was at St. Albans. I think it was St. Albans a few years ago. I know we were in Oklahoma, and you were sick in Oklahoma last year, and it's like so we never had.
That was awful.
Yeah, it's
I
like
didn't have a voice for like days.
It's like you couldn't even speak.
People were trying to come to my table, and I just basically had to like wave and hug them. That's all I could do. You came with me to some of the lectures up here too. Yeah, like
that was.
Cool. I forget how many lectures I did in October, but yeah, I had like laryngitis or something, and it was awful. But we still had fun.
Now you're just waving.
Yeah.
But we
That
all
sounded
need to get
painful.
together very, very soon and do this.
Yeah, man. I was thinking today. I was like, because I have a convention I'm supposed to be doing in Baltimore next month, and it's been rescheduled to next month, and I'm hoping that it still happens. And I'm just thinking, like, am I gonna have to wear a mask like at my table? Like that really screws up the picture. You know, it's like, hey, I to meet Dustin, and like we both had masks on. You know, it's just
we got our mask.
to do.
Look at that.
I already got the logo on there.
Oh man.
Those are on the site right now if anybody wants one. TennesseeRainchasers.com.
I did order an Elvis one. I have a Taking Care of Business Elvis one that's on its way. It's
Nice.
supposed to be here next week. So I'm looking forward to that.
Little lightning bolt on it. Is that the bolt?
Yep.
I
She's
never thought-
lightning bolt.
Like I never thought hospital masks would be like a trend or a style. You know,
Yeah.
it's like who would ever thought they would get to that?
And how quick everybody hopped on it. Like, I mean, I'm a huge Disney guy. I was like, within days, there was like, you could have any Disney character you wanted, your favorite ride. Like, they're all on the mask. It's like, what?
I know.
Yeah.
happened?
Bands floating up now. You can't even go through Facebook, and it's like, Slayer face mask, 5 Finger Death Punch. Okay, Tanya's still in here. Tanya, hook up the Oklahoma Paracon. Everybody's wanting to come. That's your job.
Yeah, Tanya was making masks last I talked to her, actually. She was making some and helping some people out. So she's a good woman. That's a nice paracon down there.
We got Jennifer Kelly.
What happens with dating now? Like, if you're already not with somebody,
You gotta
and
have the
you
little-
like somebody market, like you're just going by eyes. Like they could have busted up teeth, like they have no teeth. Like who knows? Like it doesn't make a bad person. But like dating, that's kind of like a physical thing, and you're like, it's like you take your mask off. It's like a big revealing now. Like that.
Well,
We
that's
went on our third date, and she took her mask off. Things got hot, Like wow.
Social distance
that's
dating,
just
I guess.
blind dating, though. If you already know what they look like, you just got to bring one of those temperature guns that we use and hit them in the forehead to make sure
That's
that
right.
they're good.
What's up, girl?
Somebody
Then
got Brandon's
go back
vest.
to it.
We're going on a date.
We got Jennifer
You gotta
Kelly,
go back.
Dustin. She wants to know when you and Cody
It's
will
not
be
even
back
touched.
on Ghost Nation. She said she loves seeing them together. Perhaps they should have their own show. This is Jennifer Kelly.
Well, I think Miss Jennifer Kelly has wonderful ideas. Yeah, I'd be okay with it. Would you be okay with that?
Yeah.
It'd be really awkward if you said no. Just
I'd be like, nah, I'm not into it, bro.
possible.
That would be great.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
That'd be awesome.
Someday.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I gotta go back. I keep going back. I know I keep going back to Lep, man, but this is like almost like a pivotal moment for me. This was kind of before I formed my own team. It was after I had my first paranormal experience and decided to apply for the Ghost Hunters Academy thing. And what kind of snowballed me into this was that episode, because it was one of the first times I'd ever seen anybody on television get so rattled, and it was so genuine. Like, I could tell you were genuinely upset. You were afraid. I mean, your voice was trembling. I was like, man, this is the real deal. So, I mean, can you go back and talk about that a little bit?
Sure, man. So that was still, we were still Ghost Hunters. This was kind of like the jumping off point for GHI. I had been investigating with the Ghost Hunters guys, on the TAPS team for a couple of years at that point. And then, I've been doing this since I was 15, so I've been doing it many years of my own. And once in a while, you get your hair tugged, or you feel like somebody tap you, and it's like, what was that kind of thing? But I got to be honest, that moment really changed it for me. So anybody who see the Lep Castle episode, I'm in the chapel, which they call the bloody chapel because it's TV, so it can't just be a chapel. So we're up there, and Tango and I were really just kind of busting chops, like being very disrespectful, very different from the way I investigate now, and like making fun of Ireland and making fun of like the castle and the story.
I'm sure the producers had nothing to do with that.
No. And I don't promote like provoking or anything like that, but like this is what we were doing, and Barry, it was the first time I met Barry, and Barry came running upstairs, and he's talking about how the pressures are rising and all these things that he's tracking, and we better stop doing what we're doing. And Tango's such a sweetheart. He's like, should we stop? I'm like, no. I'm like, that guy's crazy. I'm like, whatever we want to do, We're the big bad ghost hunters from America. Like, we do whatever we want over here. And then it's interesting because if you watch the episode, our camera guy was getting B-roll, like you guys know. So he's getting like the shots of where we put the EMF detector and all that crap. And he just didn't want us to leave, without him. So Tango and I were just standing just as close as Cody and I are here. And Tango swears to this day that he saw my feet come right up off the ground. For me, it was like getting hit by a wave, like in the ocean. And I get dropped straight back, and I didn't know what to think. I really was like petrified. Like, what the hell just happened? Like, all of a sudden, like, it went from nothing happening to something being strong enough to lift me up and knock me down. And it took me a while to get my breath back just from the fall. And I went outside for a while, like, just to get myself together before I came back in and investigated again. And we came back the next night. Nothing happened the next night. It was very quiet. But I really feel like it was there just to kind of put me in my place and really to teach me a lesson going forward. Like, this is a very serious thing, and these things can be very powerful, and they deserve, to be respected and treated as such, and ever since then, that's been my way. It definitely taught me a lesson, and I'm thankful for it. But it was a pivotal moment for me, for sure, and it's interesting too. I always tell the joke, like, if you look at the episode and you look at the footage of the bloody chapel, it's covered in hay bales, with the exception of where I end up getting knocked down, which is all just jagged. So, like, if you're ever just standing around, like, put the soft stuff behind you just in case these things happen.
Ain't that the way it goes? That's the way it always goes.
Of course. They wait for you to go there in front of the rocks. But, yeah, that was crazy.
No, but that whole time that you guys were there, the little things that you guys caught, I think it was Jason and Grant maybe, on the thermal dam.
Where?
Yeah. Those were.
That was at the Lachine Ruins.
Yeah. That was very pivotal.
Was weird. I gotta be honest, I'm not a big thermal camera guy. And listen, we don't all have to sing from the same hymnal. You can like or dislike whatever equipment you want.
Absolutely.
But for me, thermal, I've seen some anomalous stuff that I can't figure out. I remember, Crescent Park Hotel, seeing what looked like the figure of a guy kind of nod, like in the locker. I can't figure out how that was there because you usually don't pick a reflection like that. But the craziest thing I've ever seen with flare was it was the Lachine Ruins in Ireland, and Jay and Grant were filming, and I think it was Brian, myself, and Tango. We were walking through the grass, and you see what looks like heat signatures of these things like following after us, and I have no idea what it was. What would have been big enough to have put off that type of heat signature. And I thought about like maybe it was like residual heat, like from our bodies, like being in the tall blades of grass afterwards, but it was only in that one area. So it was very, very strange, man. But Ireland's a magical little place in itself, and full of its own folklore and legends. But yeah, the Lachine Ruins, they have such a huge respect for the Fae, for the Fae, the fairy folk and everything. And the Lachine area, they built this mansion or whatever in the middle of the Fae lines where they say the fairy lines connect. And they have a great respect for that. And because they did that without consulting, this place went to ruin. And I think it's important that have you seen Onward, the Disney movie?
Oh yeah.
I don't know if anybody else has seen it. It's a new one. It kind of went into theaters right before we all went to quarantine, so they moved it right to Disney Plus, and it's really worth seeing. And Onward follows these two brothers on their own little journey, but they're talking about the old days and the magical days, and how it wasn't easy to create fire and light with magic, but they could do it. But then we invented electricity, and like we just started using that. And I think that a lot of us, we've forgotten our internal path and like the things that we're all capable of doing. And not that I can make lightning bolts in magic, but like you were talking about, like with following your gut, like on an investigation, following your intuition. Like maybe you're not, Susie psychic, but we all have some intuition. And if we work with that and we allow that to guide us, and we get stronger with it, I think we'd find more ways. So being in a place with Ireland that still has respect for those ways, I think was really eye-opening for me, and one of the better parts of being able to do some of the international things.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you can, it's amazing.
That's our bucket list, and we got to. Did you guys get a chance to go to the Guinness factory while you were there, or no? Was that a?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And one of the times I was in Ireland, my hotel was straight across from the Tullamore Dew factory, so I could go and get like whiskey samples too. So that was nice. So yeah,
Hawaii is very similar to that. We've been to Hawaii twice and had the pleasure, to go there a couple times to investigate a couple different places, and it's very spiritual, and I think that has an effect on the paranormal activity. Whenever you're in such a spiritual place, and the locals all respect that type of belief so much. And, we kind of, when we went down in the lava tubes, we had a very kind of negative response from whatever was down there. I think it maybe was because we were a bunch of whiteys down there trying to just ask a bunch of questions, and they were like, just didn't understand why we were, I don't know, like interrogating them or something. But, yeah.
It was weird. I know for that, it's like, we were still down there for quite a bit, but it was probably the shortest amount of time compared to overall both seasons, actually, because it's like everything we got from, I think me, you, and Doogie were downstairs, Porter and down below, and Porter and Brandon were up above us, and it's like everything we got was in some way or another was a get out, a you're not welcome feeling. So it's like we did wrap it up pretty quick and got out, because it's like we don't know what's going to happen. You're dealing with a whole new, like Chris said, it's a whole spiritual thing. It's something that we don't understand and something we're not familiar with. So it's like we could do nothing but get the hell out. It's like you just don't know what's going to happen.
Like when you talk about it's like part of you really wants to take a lava rock back home, but it's like at the last day I put it back. I'm like, no, never mind. It's like, yeah, bad idea. Like,
I had some shell. I didn't take lava rock, but I had some shells, and then we were at the hotel. It's like our last day at looking at the water. I was like,
yeah, I put them back.
I throw it back, because it's like I don't believe in any kind of voodoo-y, hex, bad luck, charm, kind of whatever. But I'm like, just in case, this little shell is not worth it. It's going to be something that's going to come home and sit on my shelf anyway. I got enough shells.
Can we take them? It's not a piece of Elvis's bungalow. That's different.
There you go. Yeah.
Can we take a moment to just notice the Beavis and Butthead skull shirt, by the way?
Yes.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Thanks. Robin Terry just joined, everybody.
Robin Terry.
What up?
Man, we can't wait until October, Robin. October will be
Me
over
too.
at Ashmore. So, Dustin, Cody, you guys been to Ashmore, I'm sure, right?
I've been to Ashmore before, yeah. But we were supposed to do a suicide prevention thing there earlier this year. Unfortunately, that fell apart because of the virus and everything. But amazing place. Robin's such a great guy, such a big heart. And Ashmore is amazing. I look forward to going back there someday. Have you been to Ashmore yet?
I haven't been there. No.
We'll get you there,
No, I
man.
haven't been there.
Well, maybe when we get our own,
guest, October 10th, you can be our guest and show up.
we can go hang out. There you go.
Or you can come to my 101 at Ashmore.
Yep.
I invited him first.
Not that any of us need a 101, but still.
Oh, see, she's putting you down. Hey, Dustin, if you want to know how to investigate
It's always good to look.
Listen, I just said not that any of us need a 101, but if you want to.
All right.
Hey, I gotta be honest. I went to her 101 last year, and it was very informative. I learned things at her 101.
Yeah, you
You
can
can never
always learn
stop
something.
learning.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially
one
when
knows
you don't
it
know
all.
what the heck you're looking for, you know?
Yeah, I need to watch it myself. 101.
We have a comment from Angela, guys. She says, how long do you feel it's beneficial to stay in one investigation at any given time? Is there a length of time, I guess she's asking?
No, I don't know. For me, like, I don't like to just sit around and kill time in a place for a long time. Like, I always felt like doing the endless EVP session just for the sake of killing time just seems like a waste. Like, I'd rather kind of explore the place and see what's going on. And then, like Cody talked about, let your gut guide you. There's a certain place you feel that it warrants more time, even if the stories and the claims don't lead to it. Follow that. Follow those instincts and go back to it. I remember being in Latvia and them saying that cell number 6 was the cell where this woman took her life and spend your time here. And hanging out with Barry, and I'm like, this sucks. There's nothing here. And he's like, what do you mean? And he was doing a lot of work with me with guided meditation and trying to get me to open up a little bit more. And I was like, I just think it said cell down the hall, And we went there, and then sure enough, we hear a disembodied voice of this woman talking. And then when we do the history on the back end of the thing, we find out that when they renovated the place, they numbered the cells backwards. So the story was right that it was cell 6, but they numbered them the wrong way.
Wow.
So when it comes to spending a certain amount of time, I think it's really important to follow your intuition and spend time if you think this is a place you should. If the story says this always happens at this time, go there and check it out. But if it doesn't happen there, don't stay there all night. And sometimes you go back. Sometimes you need to go back more than once.
It's like the thing with me about being open is like you also have to be guarded because it's like I don't know what everyone else believes, but I really, me personally, I believe that there are some deceptive spirits out there, or even bad ones. It's like you have to guard yourself, but yet still be open to communicate with the good ones. So it's like I guess that's kind of a.
And also, it's like hit and miss. I mean, not every time you go somewhere, it's going to be super active. Like, I can't tell you how many people that I truly trust and believe with all my heart have had so many good experiences at Waverly Hills. But I've been there 3 times, and I haven't had really anything. And that doesn't mean...
It's amazing. And, like, I want to have... That's where, like, I want to have an experience, and it's such an amazing place, and it's quiet.
Yeah.
Like, just not my time, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was once, and I had a great time. The place is beautiful. We had me and Chris had so much fun because of the bats. We were doing like a Facebook Live or whatever live or something. It had to have been Facebook. And, so you're trying to be cool. Yeah, we're in Waverly Hills, and all that stuff. And then bats were coming at us. And all of a sudden we're like, ah, ah, ah. And all of a sudden afterwards we're like, delete that video, man. We look like punks. But it's like when we were going down the halls and we were spotting them, and then the bats were coming at us. And it's like, so that was the only like freaky experience I had. But I mean, so many people had stuff happen there, so I would love to go back. I was only there once. we talk about like places like the Thomas House, because I think we've been there so many times. The Thomas House Hotel in Red Boiling Springs, anybody's been there. It's like we've had times there where it's like we could have been staying at the Holiday Inn, nothing happened. And then other times where it's just like non-stop activity, and even through the night when you're trying to sleep. So it's like you just really don't know. Is it right place, right time? Is it the energy of the people that are staying in a hotel? Is it the energy, the vibes that we're putting off ourselves? It's like, I don't know. It's like we can go back to the beginning of this conversation where Cody, you were saying, and Brandon was chiming into the tech side, wanting to know why these things happen. My belief is I don't believe we're meant to know why and what this is. And so that's just me. I mean, and kudos to everybody who wants to dive into it deeper and find out who's there, why they're there, why are we experiencing it. It's like, great, but I believe we're not meant to know. And maybe one day we will. Or I know one day we will. It's going to be down the road. It's like, when you can sit down in front of Jesus and say, I got some questions for you. And, so. Yeah. It's like, what happened there? Who is this guy here? So I don't know. But it's like, I can always go back to the Thomas House. I've been there countless times. And so it's just flip-flops. You just never know.
Yeah.
It's a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get,
Well, not meaning to go off topic, but there was someone who asked a question earlier before I forget. I think it was Brianna. She asked, what do you do when tough times hit you? Me personally, I was going to say earlier, I downloaded the Calm app. I don't know if you've heard of it, Dustin, but it's supposed to have meditation type stuff. I've told some people I have anger issues on rare occasions, frustration, anxiety. I don't know if I've told you I have Asperger's. So the meditation kind of helps, and I also pray, of course. Fist bump, prayer and meditation. So those are the two things I do to get through tough times. And I kind of had a tough day today personally, and of course the prayers from our fans I always ask for too. So, we all need prayer and help. So.
It's interesting, Brandon, because I feel like, and being a Christian myself, I feel like a lot of times prayer gets written off, and you don't. I'm for people supporting various world religions. For me, I'm Team Jesus. But I can appreciate different prophets for different people of different lands and different understandings, because I look at it and I feel like the major world religions still are tying into the main core things. I think that's what's important. But I feel like a lot of times bad things happen and people go on Facebook and they just write thoughts and prayers. And I don't think a lot of time people spend the time actually putting those thoughts and prayers out there. And I think that thoughts and I think prayer has weight, and I think it has power. And kind of like we were talking about briefly with the Disney Onward thing, I don't think we remember how powerful beings we really are, and lifting each other up, and our ability to pray for each other and to think kindly of each other and not wish negative things about people, because every once in a while, that's the weird thing that happens. Every once in a while, somebody will wish something bad upon somebody and it'll happen. And they'll be like, oh my God, like I thought that, I wanted that to happen. But no one spends the time to think about the positive things they want to happen for people. And I think we need to spend more time in those positive thoughts and prayers, And I think that, for me, when tough times happen, this is like, I hate traffic. I know it seems like it's a first world problem for sure, right? I have a job, I'm thankful, but
I'm with you.
In these COVID times, okay, as the lone essential worker at my office for many months, what used to be an hour commute takes 9 minutes. 9 minutes! It's amazing. I can sleep late. I can shower late. I can get a coffee. I'm never late. It's great. But then now that things are reopening, we're going back to an hour. So I get frustrated in traffic because I just do, man. That's my problem. So I believe in innocence, and I believe in the things that made us happy as a child still will make us happy. And Cody knows this. In my little glove box, I have a tiny little can of Play-Doh. The smell of Play-Doh calms me down. It reminds me of a kid and not caring so much, So I just open it up and smell it and be like, this is okay, I put my music on and relax. And then there's these wonderful videos on YouTube called Hey, Got a Minute. Cody, you had something to do with that, right?
Oh.
Videos, yeah. This goofy-looking fella with spiky hair on YouTube.com/Dustin Pari. There's 120 of them. I honestly, I love this guy so much. He's like a brother to me. The only person I know that has stood by me to help me do all the crazy nonsense that I believe in doing. And we made these Hey, Got a Minute happy motivational videos at 2 to 3 minutes long. We dress up in costume. I'm a scientist sometimes. Cody works all the lights, all the special effects, man. And we try to put that stuff out there, hoping to help people too, because I really believe that we're all in this together. And you find good people and you work together and you try to just lift each other up a little bit, because we're all spirits going through this experience. And right now we have fun and we investigate spirits, and then someday we become the spirits. So you should probably just hang out, Yeah, it's the circle.
Somewhere there's a husband coming home from work, and he's telling his wife, honey, I was on the road today, and I saw this guy, and he was sniffing Play-Doh.
Yeah, they're probably going to think it's like cocaine or something. I don't have cocaine, I got Play-Doh money. That's what I got. It's fantastic.
It was before all the quarantine stuff. The last event me and Chris did, I quoted you, and I even quoted you, Dustin, and I said it. I didn't just steal your quote. I said, I want to say it properly. Wear a smile, because it's like it might be the only light somebody sees.
That's exactly right. Keep a smile on your face.
Yeah, through the kudos. I was like, Dustin always says at the end of his videos, because I watched the Hey Got a Minutes. It's like they're beautiful. And you have 60 seconds a day to watch these. They're wonderful. The Wacky Wednesdays or Spiritual Sundays. It's like they're wonderful. They are. They're very, very good. And it's like, wear a smile, because it might be the only light somebody sees. And it makes so much sense, because it's like there's so much stuff that pisses me off, Chris, Brandon, Gina, all of us, that it's like, to the other guy it seems so minute, right. But to you it pisses you off, and it's like you just turn it around. And it's like, smile, because you could be that other guy that's pissed off, that it can turn it around. I
find with it, and I appreciate that, man. I really do. It really means a lot to me. Everybody that watches the videos and thinks about it means a lot to me. And like I said, it means a lot to me that Cody helps me with them. Wearing the mask sucks, because people can't see you smile. And so what I've started doing is singing all the time, which is natural anyway. But like I always make a point when I'm in Target, like if I see the girls talking to the shelves, I'm like, hey, how you doing today? even though I got that mask on, I just want them to know I'm friendly. I tried drawing a smile on mine, but it ended up looking really creepy. So I sing little songs and I hum. So when people see me, they're like, "Oh, that's not like a scary man under the mask, like he's okay." So,
let's do a off the cuff, on the fly, for anybody watching right now. What's up, Jim Palmer? Haven't seen you in a bit. Everybody watching right now, you can see Hey Got a Minute. Just get on. You can get on Dustin's page and find it. Here's a sample. I'm going to put you on the spot. Hey, you got a minute? Let's talk about what's going on in the world today.
Okay, all right. Here we go. 60-second timer. All right, so there is a lot going on, right? And so everyone feels separated. Everyone feels isolated, and we're having a difficult time, And there's a lot of, drive-by birthdays and things, and people get really sad because, it was my birthday. And listen, you'll get another birthday. Just hang in there. What's important now is to see that commonality and to see the bond and the struggle that we're all kind of going through these difficult times. I always find that there's great peace and there's great beauty and joy even in the fact that we're all broken in some way and that we all go through pain. Nobody makes it through this life unscarred. We all go through bullshit. We all get our balls busted. We all have real horrible times. This is one of them. We're all sharing it together. And somehow there's beauty in the fact that we're united in that. Nobody goes through this life without a little bit of pain and without a little bit of scar. This is ours right now, and it's our moment. And when we get out of this, we can't forget about it, because we have to be thankful for all the wonderful things that we'll get to enjoy, all those birthdays and all those other things on the other side.
Oh,
and keep a smile on your face, because it may be the only light somebody out there sees today.
Close.
Nice.
Was it beautiful?
Nice.
Yes.
Thank you.
I was going
we didn't have time for lights and costumes, though.
I'm going to show you guys lavender helps, too.
I love lavender. That's nice. Yeah, and the diffuser, don't drink it.
No, I just
Have you guys made any like ridiculous quarantine purchases?
There's some things that you buy that aren't what they seem. I've noticed, like for medical office, I work in oral surgery, so I was in charge, for months trying to buy as much personal protective equipment for my staff for when we reopen. And there's a lot of things that you buy that say like N95 masks, and it's got the picture, and it shows up, and it looks more like a feminine hygiene product with an elastic on it. I'm like, this is not what it was supposed to be. And so then you call the number, and the company's out of business, and it's just a scam, and it's really sad. People are scamming people. Snake oil salesmen out there, It's awful.
Wow.
But so if you're interested, or any ladies out there need some feminine products, I got a bag of plastic.
I spent like $60 on Clorox wipes like about a month and a half ago, and I still haven't seen them.
No. So crazy. So crazy.
I'm pretty sure that was a scam. That was when they were in very high demand.
Yeah, for sure.
Which I was going to say, Dustin, I mean, I appreciate people like you, you positivity and, meditation. I'll go ahead and share this with everyone. I have Asperger's, so I actually am starting to see my therapist a little more to talk about my problems. Something he recommends to me a whole lot is called mindful meditation. It's where you don't think about our thoughts. They'll wander and they'll think about things we worry about. But it's like for instance, like I'm sitting in my chair right now. It's like you bring your mind to the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel the chair. It's like, or if you breathe, focus on your breathing. Don't let your mind wander on these words and thoughts. That helps me some.
Yeah. No, the mind is very powerful. I think that's a good point that you make, man. And our world is so busy. It's always so easy to be distracted between like the cell phones dinging and the people like outside and all the noise. It's easy for that to kind of take your space and not to be mindful of the moment. And I think that's one of the most important things is the fact that all we have are moments. Life is just a series of moments strung together. It's often, I used to hate in high school, the guidance counselor would be like, so what are you going to do? Like, where are you going to college? And what are you going to do after college? And you interview for jobs and like, what's your 5-year plan? I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing now. Like, let's slow down. Like, let's focus on this, let's go from this and then find the next step. Yeah, have goals, have dreams, but like you need to be mindful of what you're going through, because if you're always living in the future or you're always worrying about the past, you're missing what you're going through now. And these are the moments that really matter, And like, I love going for a walk, man. I take walks. The other night I walked for like 90 minutes around. I found a cow pasture that I've never seen before. And like, I was just listening to the wind whistling around. I saw some birds, like stupid things that most people would just glance by and be like, whatever, like I've got other shit going on, But I'm like, I'm focused on those little things because I think those things, do matter. The feel of your chair against your skin, like the way the little lavender thing you have smells. Like those little things matter, and those things add up, and we just glaze over them because we're just so busy all the time.
Makes sense. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, you get a lot of people chime in, man. It's like it's small things we take for granted, and what is it at the end of anybody? I don't know about the kids today watching at the end of Ferris Bueller, where he's like, what's the quote at the end?
Life moves past you pretty fast if you don't.
Yeah, if you don't stop and slow down.
Once in a while.
Yeah. And it's
I like that you use the term the kids today, by the way. That's nice.
Yeah. They're like, who's Ferris and who's Bueller? They're two guys. But it's like, it is. I think this is God's way of just doing a slowdown to everybody. Just calm down. And unfortunately, with every slowdown, there's going to be, bad things are happening. Yes, people are dying, and it's like businesses and whatnot. But it's like there's a reason for it. We don't all understand it exactly right now, but I think it is definitely. I know for myself and my family, it's a slowdown moment.
I know it's taught me. It's taught me if I ever get to go back to work, I'm never complaining again about the small things.
Right? Like,
it's like, we got to drive to New York. What? 13-hour drive. Now it's like, please. Book us in New York. Give us $50.
It's like I can't think of the last time we had dinner together. It's like being married for 10 years, together for 20, it's like now we're having meals together. It's like we now have a almost 4-month-old, and it's like we're doing family things. And it was like, if this was going to happen, it was at for me maybe an opportune time to actually slow down and enjoy some moments, because
your kid too.
Yeah, I would have been gone a lot, so it's like for me, it's like financially it hit hard, but it's like it was a slow down moment to where it's like, enjoy some things, and definitely have been for sure, but I'm also enjoying work when it comes back. Wait, notice out there, Tammy says I missed her birthday.
Yeah, there's
Tammy,
been like 2 people. I told you this, bro, when you started wishing everybody happy birthday with the little photos and stuff. I'm like, bro, you're gonna miss some people, and they're gonna get very, very angry with you.
Somebody actually told me before. They're like, man, that is so awesome that you remember everybody's birthday. I'm like, Facebook remembers their birthday and they remind me. So, Tammy, if I didn't see you blame Facebook, Bart, I would have told everybody 21. But happy birthday, baby. Hope it's a good one.
Happy birthday.
No, there's been 2 other ones. I think, and I can't remember the other one. There was 2 other ones you forgot. They let you know they're very upset about it. So I'm telling you, bro.
I blame Facebook.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
If I'm out of town, I can't see it. I can't find it on my phone. So if I'm out of town, yeah, Tanya's over there laughing.
I would have to say,
time nobody ages. Isn't that wonderful?
we've had the chat's been crazy tonight. I think tonight's been the most active chat we've ever had. Like, there's just all kinds of stuff coming through. I'm trying to answer everybody, but this is the most active chat we've had ever.
Oh, good.
Hopefully they're not just complaining about how bad your guests are.
No, not at all. No, everybody's really involved in what we're talking about. It's great.
No, everybody's loving you guys. Everybody was like, you guys are too kind. You guys are my favorite investigators. Let me see. MJ Bruce says, it's my birthday 27. Everybody say happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Myself.
Wait until you're 30 or 31.
Get out of here. You're the youngest one in. No, never mind. There's Cody. Sorry.
I'm getting to where I'm starting to forget my age. I noticed that the other day.
Your age. Get out of here.
30, not 30.
I did that this year. I questioned my age this year. I was like, what am I going to do?
Wow.
Sneaks up
I
on
think I do. I'm doing pretty good for 72. Right?
Great for 72.
I think Cody wins the youngest. Cody, how old are you?
40.
40.
Minus 20.
Exactly. Be 26 this year.
Oh, young.
To be 26 again.
We were born a day apart, just a lot of years in between, but a day apart.
That's
How old are you?
I'm going to be 43.
Really?
Yeah.
You're
I know
so
you're not.
man.
Yeah.
It's the hair.
It is.
The hair.
It's like
You're
30.
looking young.
I love
But
it.
it makes me think, when you were talking about being 26, it's made me think sometimes and this may be a bad habit of mine, but I tend to look back and it's like, man, I haven't finished college yet and I'm 31. So it's like, by now, I know I had plans when I was in high school. It's like, man, I'm going to have a PhD by the time I'm 30 or whatever.
And then that pesky ghost hunting show happens.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's blessings come in different ways, It's like, it's not a bad thing.
It's like, man, when I was 26, it was my senior year.
All in God's time, bro.
Yeah.
All in God's time, buddy.
Well,
Yeah,
I know we've had you guys for a little over an hour now. If anybody got any last minute questions, I'm sure these guys are probably ready to roll.
Yeah, I owe my daughter a. We've started this thing since quarantine. Around 10 o'clock, I always make her something to eat. I'm not sure why, but now it's 10 o'clock. She's like, Daddy, tonight 10 o'clock, I want to have noodles again. I'm like, okay. So I said, I'm doing an interview, but then after that, we'll get you the noodles, So
Noodles are always awesome, especially at 10 o'clock.
Ramen noodles, man. Ramen noodles or cup of noodles.
Oh, yeah.
All right, kids, last chance.
Everybody's still talking about ages.
Yeah.
There's like
And all those birthdays that Mike missed.
Well, anyway, I'll throw out there, Cody. I want to see you in Michigan. Where me and Chris were just talking about it. For some reason, I guess because we've been in lockdown so long, for 3 months, August seems, when you talk about it, so far away. It's only 3 months away. So we'd love to see you there.
Good.
Go.
I'll try.
Yeah.
You got to be Elvis, so.
Yeah.
Someone just said,
Amazing.
can you do a prayer for everyone in the world healthcare right now?
Yeah, I can. Well, I mean, we can go ahead and do a prayer if you don't mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
Sure.
Dear Lord, we thank you for the night you've given us. We thank you for the fellowship that we've had talking on live here. Please just be with the world, Lord. Help us to keep you first. And please help us to honor you. And please help this virus to pass, Lord. Help us to focus on what's important, Lord. Help us to focus on our families and try to love one another more. And please be with the families of lost loved ones. And in Jesus' name, we pray these things. Save the lost. Amen.
Amen.
All right, guys. Thanks again so much. I know you guys have busy lives, and we really appreciate it. Can't wait to see more of you guys, hopefully, in the future, whether it be on TV or cons or wherever, man. But thanks so much, guys. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks everybody for tuning in tonight too.
Love you guys.
Appreciate
All
it.
right.
Thanks.
Guys.
God
See you, man.
bless.